Let's make sure history never forgets. The name. Enterprise.
Hello, Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at the Super 7 Ultimates Star Trek The Next Generation, Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. And this is an awesome figure, and I can't wait to take a look at it. But before we can take a look at the figure, let's take a look at this cool packaging. And you can see it's in your standard Ultimates box. You have a beautiful star field here and a Starfleet insignia right in front of it. It is really nice. On the bottom left, you have ages 14 plus, Picard Super 7. On the right side of the box, you have that Starfield continuing, and on the left side, the Starfield continues. On the top of the box, you have Ultimates. On the bottom of the box, you have some credits for the box and a barcode that is pretty nice. And coming around to the back of the box, you have Star Trek The Next Generation logo there. Contents, one figure with accessories, the Star Trek universe, and Super 7. And that is pretty much it for the outside of the box. But this Super 7 product still has the awesome slipcover that they used to put on all of their packaging. And if we lift the slipcover up, we can see the awesome figure inside the box. There you have Captain Jean-Luc Picard surrounded by his accessories. Ages 14 plus appears here. Super 7 appears here. On the top, you still have Ultimates pop up. Now you have the Star Trek The Next Generation logo here. Picard has not changed, and that is really cool. On the left side of the box, nothing. On the right side of the box, nothing. Nothing changes on the bottom. And on the back of the box, we have a awesome little read-up of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, and I will zoom in. Look at that. That is a very nice picture of Jean-Luc Picard, and we can zoom in. We could read a little bit about the good captain. If you're so inclined, you could pause the video there and read it to your heart's content, but we must be moving backward and onward. And this is the awesome presentation of the Super 7 Ultimates Star Trek The Next Generation Captain Picard and what he looks like in the box, but I don't want to see Captain Picard in the box. I know you don't, so let's get him out and see how boldly he can go. And here we have Captain Picard out of the packaging. And out of the packaging, he stands approximately 7 inches tall, and he comes with a lot of cool accessories, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. But first off, I want to take a look at the hero of Maxia himself. And coming in real close on Captain Picard's head sculpt. Wow, this is very, very good. I think they nailed Patrick Stewart. It looks very detailed and accurate. I like the eyes. They are really nicely done. You got some nice eyebrows, and they look very sharp and stern, like Captain Picard would always look. I do got a little bit of blemish right here on my left eye, right above the pupil there. That is kind of annoying, but that's okay. Got some nice ridges for his forehead and his nose. Very sharp, especially when we take a look at the profile. Wow, look at that head sculpt. Very, very much Patrick Stewart, like I said before. Got some nice detail in the mouth. Even the lines in his face look exact. And coming back, you have some nice molded ears. Now the hair is kind of darker than what I'm used to with Captain Picard, but in the first couple seasons he did have darker hair, but I think I would have liked it a little lighter. And the top of the head here seems a little off-centered. It's not like a nice sharp line. It just kind of goes up in different things, so I don't know if that was supposed to be that way, but it's all right. The bottom comes down to the neckline right here. That is good. Coming back around to the other side. Now, looking again at the paint detail, the neck is very light, and the face, at least coming up to right about here, kind of has a more of a foundation to it. So I mean, the top of his head is a lighter color, but like right about in here at his temple, you see that is where he probably started applying some makeup. But anyway, it is still a very nice, accurate looking head sculpt. So let's zoom out a little bit so we can get a little more light and see the upper torso of the figure, and that is just awesome. So He is wearing your standard Starfleet uniform from seasons 3 onward. You can tell because it has the high neckline here, and you got some nice red bordering the neck part, and then you got his 4 command pips right there, and that is accurate. You have the black coming to the shoulders, and then you have the red on the chest. Nice communicator right here, and then it comes down to basically everything you would expect for the Starfleet uniform. Black lower part of the chest, and then some black pants. And if you go down, you do have some nice glossy black shoes. That is very nice. The shoes just kind of stand out, which is how it should be. You know, you have your matte for the legs, and then you gloss for the shoes. Kind of very militaristic, I guess. That's a hard word to say. I'm sorry I screwed it up. But anyway, on the back, nothing that you wouldn't expect from him. And yeah, this is a great looking figure. I think they nailed the face sculpt, and that's pretty much, when it comes to Star Trek characters, really what you want to focus on, because the uniform and the body technically is all going to be the same. All right, moving on. And for our articulation, starting at the head, Captain Picard's head can go around 360 degrees. He can kind of look up a little bit. He can kind of look down a little bit. He can wiggle waggle left and right and give you stern looks. And that is pretty neat. Coming to the shoulders, shoulders can come up from the body. They can go back down. They can go around 360 degrees. You do have a bicep rotation, 360 degrees right there, coming down to an elbow bend. You do not get your 90-degree elbow bend here. It's kind of a slant, so that's okay. But that is built into a 360-degree forearm rotation, so that is nice. And that will bring you down to the hand. The hand can rotate 360 degrees, and it is hinged. This particular hand can hinge out and in, up, and down, depending on how you have the hand arranged. That is cool. Coming to the center of the body, it is kind of built into this little midsection, and you get a little wiggly waggly there. He can go around 360 degrees and back a little bit and forward a little bit, and that is pretty cool. Coming to the leg can go up just a little bit and back not as much because the butt gets in the way. You do get a little bit of thigh rotation left and right. Coming down to your knee bend, which is again not 90 degrees, it's just a little slant to the side, but that is built into a lower leg rotation, 360 degrees there. And that will bring you down to your shiny shoes. And the foot is hinged. It can go down, it can go up, and it could rock around the world 360 degrees. So that is pretty neat, and that will round up the articulation segment. So a lot of good stuff. Feels kind of hindered because he doesn't have a really big range when it comes to his elbows and his legs. But really, he's going to be walking around the ship. He's not going to be doing a lot of running unless it's the movies we're talking about. All right. Moving on. And taking a look at Captain Picard's accessories, the first thing we're going to take a look at is this awesome alternate head. And taking a closer look, only real difference is that the captain has a small, subtle smile on his face. And it's very subtle because Captain Picard was very disciplined, like I said before, and he would not betray any hint of emotions. But this is really nice, and it's still got the same eye detail and the nose, and that is really good. Nice profile there. The hair is still the dark gray, nice ear sculpt. So yeah, I really like this alternate head. So if you want a kind of a happier Captain Picard, by all means, this is the head sculpt for you. Really nicely done. And when it comes to alternate hands, Captain Picard comes with a set of relaxed hands. And these open palm hands are the ones that Captain Picard comes boxed with and packaged with. And there's nothing too out of the ordinary about them. They're just little hands. So yeah, it looks good. Every character needs little standard relaxed open hands. He comes with a pointing hand. And taking a closer look at the pointing finger hand, I guess this is really neat. You could also call this the engage hand, because that's pretty much what a lot of people will have him posing with this doing, saying engage, make it so, or pointing you. But yeah, it's okay. It's a single right hand and it points. Captain Picard also comes with a book holding hand with a book. And here's a closer look at the book holding hand. You can see it is sculpted in a very large open mold, and that is to accommodate the very large book that he can come with. And this is a very cool volume. This is a book that we have seen in the show before. This is the Globe Illustrated Shakespeare. The bottom says the complete works annotated, and this is a really neat. You got a lot of detail even on the side of the book. Let's see if I get this into focus. Zoom out just a little bit and bring it a little closer. Let's see, there we go. And that's really cool. And Captain Picard has held this, and it's usually in his ready room on his desk, and this is really nice. Got a good picture of the globe there, and on the side you got a smaller version of it. Nice spine. On the back, nothing but blue, and then on the sides you got some little slits in it to make it look like paper, and then you got some red over here at the edges to simulate the spine. That is pretty neat, and this is a cool little accessory that he could hold and take around with him if he was so inclined. So yeah, hopefully Q's not around to throw it at him. Moving on, Captain Picard comes with a set of hands that can hold his tea and saucer. And it's really nice. This hand is sculpted to hold the teacup, and this one is sculpted to hold the saucer. And taking a look at the teacup itself, it's nicely done in a plastic. You do got the black around the top and coming into the handle. The glass is shaded to simulate there actually being tea in the cup, so that is pretty neat. And the saucer itself is just a square little piece of plastic. It's got a little bit of square detail in there, and I don't know, this is probably going to get lost. I wouldn't have minded, I think, if there was like a tab or something that you could peg the teacup onto the saucer, or maybe magnets. That would be cool if it was magnetic. But yeah, these are two pretty cool accessories, and he can hold these and talk to somebody in his ready room and be all calm and cool and collective. So that is pretty neat. Next, Captain Picard comes with his standard phaser holding hand and a phaser, which is really nice. Again, sort of like Riker and Data, the phaser can just slip in there and the thumb is automatically on the buttons, and you got the little fingers gripping around the handle, and that is cool. Bring out the phaser itself. You have a beautiful piece, just like the others that we've seen in this series. Have nice black for the barrel, nice silver for the main part. This green indicates the setting of the phaser. You got your buttons to set the phaser and your firing button here. Nice silver, and then black for the handle. Beautiful, beautiful design and paint job for this little thing, and I love it. And obviously he can hold it and zap whatever he needs to zap, so that is pretty neat. And finally, Captain Picard comes with a sword holding hand and a rapier. Eat your heart out, Hakara Sulu. And it's really nice. It can fit right in there, very tight, so you may have to loosen up the fingers to try to get the sword in there. And I would be very careful with this sword because it is really nicely done. You got silver for the hilt and nice silver for the blade, and it is a little flexy, so you can kind of play with it like this. But again, it's plastic and very thin, so I wouldn't do that too hard, or you might break it. The handle here is done in a nice coppery brown, so that is pretty cool. And Captain Picard obviously can hold this, and he could attack people or practice fencing with people if he was so inclined, and he could find somebody to sword fight with. So that is really neat. And that's going to be Captain Picard's accessories. Moving on. And for comparison, I guess, here you have the Super 7 Picard with the Art Asylum Picard that came out around 2015 or 2016. And I say comparison reluctantly because really, looking at these two head-on, there's not really a comparison. This is a toy. This is, I don't know, a piece of art, because the whole package of this Picard looks realistic. He looks like more than an action figure, whereas this one obviously looks like a cartoon come to life. And I don't know, the Data and the Rikers were a little closer, I think, but when it comes to Picard, now, I don't think this is much of a comparison at all. I think the Super 7 nails this, and the exception of maybe bright colored hair, the Art Asylum doesn't have much to compete with the Super 7. So I'll give you a full once around, but really, this is just no comparison again. Alright. And for comparison, here you have Captain Picard with his first and second officers. And the Super 7 TNG crew continues to get even better with each wave. Now, we started with Commander Riker, and he was good. Moving to Lieutenant Commander Data, I liked the way he looked, but of the three, taking a look at these together, Captain Picard looks the most real of the three. Obviously, Data's an android, so he doesn't count. But you can see that the Super 7 sculpting is continuing to get better with each wave. And just the height scale is really good, because I was afraid Picard was going to be about the same size as Riker, which he's not. You can see that Riker is taller, and then Picard and Data are roughly about the same height, and that's accurate to the show. So I really like the attention to detail when it comes to the scale, and I hope they continue to progress and get even better with the coming waves. And that's going to be your comparisons. Moving on. And this has been the Super 7 Ultimates Star Trek The Next Generation Captain Picard. And I really liked playing around with this figure. It was so much fun, and obviously it added to my TNG series, and that brings us 3. We got a few more to go. Hopefully we'll get them. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen any solicitations for Geordi or Dr. Crusher, but hopefully Super 7 will put out the entire bridge crew before they discontinue the line. Please, 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 please. But anyway, getting back to Jean-Luc here, he was really nicely molded and sculpted. The head sculpt is just dead on Patrick Stewart, and I can't say that enough. The accessories for this guy were great. I think they put in everything that they needed. The little rapier, his book, a phaser, his tea, and his saucer, that was great. Only thing I think they could have added was his flute. That was a very important item to him from the Inner Light, and maybe a Dixon Hill hat. That would be fun. But that's okay. I like what they gave us. At least they stopped with the poker stuff. The articulation, limited as it has been with all of these figures, and that's just the way they're designed. So you're not going to get that 90 in the knee or the elbow. But for what it is, I think it does a good job, and you can basically get them in any pose that you want to. And that's pretty much it when it comes to this guy. It pretty much goes without saying that if you are doing the Super 7 TNG characters to replace your Art Asylum, you're definitely going to pick up Picard. Or if you're just looking to start a new 6 to 7 inch TNG series, the Super 7 here is good. Again, I'm worried that they won't complete the bridge crew, but for what they have out, if you want to get these and then supplement them with the Art Asylum crew, if they don't put them all out, then I think that would look okay too. The Super 7's doing a great job with these figures, and I'm very happy with mine. So if you are looking for Captain Picard, you can check your online retailers, and he will go anywhere between $55 to $60, and he's on sale right now. Alright, so if you're looking, happy hunting. And that's it, guys. That is the review for the Super 7 Ultimate Star Trek The Next Generation Captain Picard. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night, and until next time, keep playing.